interrupt your regular broadcast.
It's game on. We now bring you another special sports presentation.
Good evening and welcome to the Bat Cave is what we call it. Home of the Pueblo South Colts. We're at Hollywood Drive tonight. Along with Tracy Rink, I'm JJ Valentine. We got a little high school wrestling tonight. We got the number 3 team in the state in the Pueblo County Hornets ready to take on Pueblo South. 2 teams with a lot of great wrestling history, Tracy.
Yeah, no question. Obviously, Stouts won state championships. We're here with Coach Soto. You guys have won state championships, obviously more recently than the Colts. What's a battle like this mean to you? You've been through these trenches yourself as a high school wrestler. You come into this. I mean, I know you love these environments. I know wrestling literally has 2 weekends of the year, regionals and state, but it kind of builds up to that point. What's your thoughts about a dual match like tonight?
It's great. It's right now. We get to this point in the season, where we got to fine-tune things. Everything we practice, you have the early part of the season where you're learning things and figuring things out, but at this point here, you should be fine-tuning and getting those matches in, and those last 2 weeks of the season, that's what it comes down to, and that's the process, and these guys got to enjoy the process.
That's what I was going to bring up, was the process of getting to this point, grinding through these duels. How big of a matchup is this for you? South's not ranked, you guys are. They're on their home mat here tonight, but how big is a match like this for your guys to tune up for what's to come? Because January goes extremely fast before we get to February, like Tracy said, where it all happens.
Yeah, well, it's just like every match. These wrestlers got to treat every match the same. Whether we're at home or away or who we're competing against, you got to go out there, you got to wrestle hard, you got to put points on the board, and you just got to control your own environment. There's things that these guys work on. That's their attitude, like things that don't require a lot, their effort, their aggressiveness, and things like that. And it doesn't matter who you're wrestling. You got to be like that with every single opponent. You start looking past opponents, that's when they come back and bite you in the behind. Yeah,
doing the little things. Now, any surprises on this team for you this year? You got a lot of kids that are ranked in the top 4 here in 2023 already. That's got to be exciting, but any surprises for you?
Some guys standing out here. I got a 6-pounder. He's a little scrapper. He's we're not going to see him tonight because he has a forfeit, but we're still waiting on him. We got to get him more matches, and we just love to see him compete more. I got my heavyweight that's now in the lineup. He's recovered from an ACL tear, and his first tournament back was last week. He finished 3rd. He wrestled #1 guy in the state in the semis last week, and he has a bbig one tonight. He's got a returning state placer, so he's looking forward to see where he's at. Does he belong on the podium? Well, if you got to beat those guys who've been on the podium to see where you're at. So those 2 right there stand out. And then, of course, I got my guns there, sitting there, just leading the way.
And now, before we go any further, before Tracy, I'll give him a last opportunity here. Your coaching staff, you got some kids that are very familiar, that have been around the world of this, around the wrestling world for a long, long time. Yeah. Speak to that just a bit.
Oh man, they're just their presence. They come in. They're just their presence just brings that glow. Brings that glow. And but they're great guys. And it's so cool to see those type of guys, Hunter and Josiah, and them come back and give back, and volunteer their time to for our program.
And they got to create a lot of inspiration. I walked around your wrestling room because my grandson is in that program.
Oh, nice.
And I walk around that wrestling room and see their pictures and the state championships. Yeah. And you look in there and you go, wow, this is a legit cool wrestling room.
Yeah, the records, the things,
right.
Yeah, and that's a whole story in itself, how I had to, put those things together. But yeah, you walk in there and then you look back and you look at those names and you're just like, wow, that's just, it's just like coming into this gym and looking at there. That's
here.
Cool, looking right outside the gym and seeing that their Wrestling Hall of Fame. That's really cool. But yeah, our room, it brings that. You see those kids looking up there at time to time, and then when they see a face to the name, that says a lot.
I want to be there someday, right? Anything else before we let Coach go?
Sure. Well, you blended it, this program. Back in the day when you were wrestling, County wasn't really known as a wrestling school. Obviously, they got this rush, and from 2013 on, or even a little before, you started making this big push, started winning state championships. Obviously, that changed the culture of your program. How much pride do you take? Like you said, County wasn't part of the wrestling mix. It was always South, Central at times. But when you talk about wrestling in Pueblo, it was known for wrestling, but it was never Pueblo County wrestlers. Like, we fear them. What do you think changed that culture? And then you've obviously kept it going for a decade now.
Well, first off, I mean, we didn't have a middle school program.
Yeah.
So when you had guys like Hunter and Grant and Josiah and them coming through, you're like, how do we have all this talent but no middle school program? So that was the one thing when I first took over. That was the one thing we needed, was that middle school program. And then we got the youth program going. And then, as you can see, now it's starting to work. And we had those. We had that one good group come in, and they really showed. County had some tough kids. They had some tough kids, but the culture is really hard to change. The culture takes some time. And once you get that culture changing, you just keep it going. But we got through the hard part, and that was getting that culture. And when I first started at County, I was just like, man, look at these little scrappers, look at these tough kids, look at these 5'4" kids playing basketball, or it didn't make sense. It was out there, but when you don't have a middle school program and you really didn't have a youth program, it's going to be hard.
Things are changing, which is really nice, and culture.
And I know back in the day, Coach Ramstetter used to always tell me from Alamosa, it wasn't necessarily the quantity, it was always the quality. He didn't care as much about the duels. Like Duff Cini was all about the duels with Canyon City. We're going to win the South Central League. And Ramstetter's like, please take it away, 'cause we're going to win the state championship. That's got to be the goal, right? Like, you got to get the quality guys there, not so much the quantity, if you want to win state. You know how it states, because you got to come back through and wrestle backs and everything else. That's got to be the goal and what you tell these kids.
Yeah, I mean, you got to enjoy the process. You have to enjoy the process. You have to be willing to sacrifice some things and go through the grind, and it's enjoy the process.
Coach Soto, always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Some fun tonight.
All right.
Appreciate you taking the time.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll take a break. Be back with more of our pregame shows. It continues after a quick timeout right here at SoCoTicket.com.
When you need to get around town quickly and easily, call City Cab 719-543-2525. With City Cab of Pueblo, you get convenient, safe, and affordable transportation around Pueblo and surrounding areas 24/7. City Cab is Pueblo's #1 transportation company with safe and friendly drivers. If you need airport and Medicaid shuttle services, City Cab has your travel covered from Colorado Springs to Denver and beyond. Just call 719-543-2525 or simply book online at PuebloCityCab.com.
Hey good folks, once again this is Tony Wright. Now even though I changed locations, I still get my barbecue at Gigi's Barbecue. Located on Highway 50 West, right across from Chick-fil-A. From their lip-smacking ribs, pulled pork to the juicy brisket, Gigi's has it all. Gigi offers a friendly, down-to-earth atmosphere to dine in, and they can also bring the food to you as well. Gigi's can cater from 30 people up to 300 or more. They were also voted best barbecue in Pueblo in 2015. So get your barbecue fix on today at Gigi's. Located on Highway 50 West, right across from Chick-fil-A.
One company stands out, JR Roofing and Maintenance, located at 5303 Manor Ridge Drive right here in Pueblo. They specialize in commercial and residential along the Front Range of Colorado. That includes Pueblo, Colorado Springs, and Denver. They specialize in roofing of all types, full re-roofs, maintenance, and leak calls. They work with many types of roofing materials and applications as well. So check them out. That's JR Roofing and Maintenance, serving the Front Range of Colorado.
And once again, welcome back. Along with Tracy Rink, Tony Wright, and Chelsea Lynn, I'm JJ Valentine. Nice to have you along here from Colt Gymnasium. We're on Hollywood Drive tonight, set for the wrestling duel between the County Hornets and the South Colts. As we look at the Class 4A, here's how it goes as we get set for the play-in of the national anthem here. You want to take a timeout? Let's take the break. We'll be back with more after this right here on The Ticket.
For a life of comfort, convenience, and enjoyment, welcome to Azteca Apartments.
We provide luxurious apartments and quality living for seniors 62 years and over, or those with disabilities. Our facility is smoke-free and features beautiful balconies with scenic mountain views and 24/7 maintenance for your safety. Our income-based rent and free utilities make Azteca Apartments an affordable option for any budget. With our healthcare education and physical fitness activities and various entertainment venues, we provide the necessities for a fulfilling life. Due to our high-quality maintenance and energy program, we were recognized as the #1 property in Colorado by the Governor's Energy Office in 2011. Experience a better way to live at Azteca Apartments.
Angeles Chapel Funeral Directors has been providing Pueblo and Colorado Springs communities with the same service they have provided their own family for many, many years. To treat every woman as if she were our mother or sister, every man as if he were our father or brother. Angeles Chapel Funeral Directors continues to provide caring and compassionate service with dignity and respect. And remember, when you lose someone you love, call someone that you can trust. Angeles Chapel Funeral Directors, online at angelespueblo.com.
This program is brought to you in part by Spectrum Community Services, home and community-based services to persons with developmental disabilities. For more information, call 545-4057. Spectrum Community Services, adding more to life.
Well, welcome back as we get you right to the starting lineups. Our PA announcers delivering those as we speak. And, of course, the set for the matchup between the County Hornets and the South Colts here at the Bat Cave tonight. Along with Tracy Rink, I'm JJ Valentine. We'll bring Tony Wright into the broadcast a little bit later on. He's hanging out, doing a little socializing. But Tracy, as we get set for this matchup here, this is really a good one for the County Hornets in the fact that they're sitting #3 right now in Class 4A. East leads the way. They're ranked #1, followed by Thompson Valley, Pueblo County, Windsor, Mesa Ridge from just up I-25, Falcon as well, Roosevelt, Montrose, Erie, and Meade. All really formidable wrestling programs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, County's won state recently. East is the defending state champion. I talked to Tim Yount earlier this evening from On the Mat Rankings. He's like the Mel Kiper guru of prep wrestling in Colorado.
Right.
And he told me that East will probably walk away with the state championship just because of depth. The County's, County can push, and there's injuries, there's different things that can happen. I mean, you look at County's lineup, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. Zion Mares at 13s, Wyatt Ferris at 20s, Thomas Velasquez, Isaiah Padilla, Bowden White, and Tony Macalusa, all ranked in the top 5 except for Ferris, who's number 10. And at those weights, I mean, they're just not heavy in the back, but that's why Coach Soto is saying they got their heavyweight back, and it looks like their heavyweight tonight is going to be Jack Stenger. And if he's healthy, I mean, that adds more weight. I mean, and as I was saying in the pre-match, it's all about quantity more than quality, because you get so many points at state for pins and wins by pin and tech falls. I mean, and if you have guys doing that, you get so many more points, and that's how, County was able to win state. And South, Coach Yauna told me South's probably made the most improvement of anybody in the state this year. He said they're probably a year away, but it'd be a great match. I mean, this is South, this is County, and it's wrestling.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. When you look at, you talk about the county wrestlers with Zion Mares, ranked number 1 at 113s. I mean, like you said, that pulls a lot of weight. County's got 1, 2, 3, what'd you say, 6 guys?
6 guys.
That are ranked. And you look at Pueblo East, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys at least ranked in the top 5.
And the difference is of those guys you have, who can win state? Because when you win state, it's like when you win the Super Bowl poll, you win the Super Bowl. You get your team there, it's great. But when you're in the office poll, you got to have that win to win it. And that's the difference, is can that guy win state? Looks like we got a forfeit at 106s.
Yeah, 106.
That's Brogan Bartholomew got the forfeit for Pueblo County at 6s. When you and I were in high school, they had 98-pounders.
98-pounders, right. 98, 103.
Yeah, 98 and 103.
Yep.
I don't remember the last time I was 103. It's probably when Reagan was president. Your team there, it's great. But when you're in the office pool, you got to have that win to win it. And that's the difference.
And when you look at, when you talk about Michael
forfeit.
Jackson, okay, that was Chelsea just doing a little check in there, and it came through. So good clean audio, good clean video, and you can go to the iPad if you want to. And
I got
and
a
check
rough
it.
voice. I was screaming for the Cowboys to win, and I was going to say the tower. I'm the tower, the power, the man of
Right.
the hour. Too sweet to be sour. I've been watching too many wrestling documentaries.
Right, no doubt about it. So here we go. We got the
Got 13 pounds. This is the match. This is probably the match of the night. Zion Mara's number 1 in state. He's going against the number 6 guy in the state from South, Brandon Medina. I mean, and we've got a quick takedown here by. Looks like Mara's got the takedown. He's going to get some back points there.
boy, indeed, a near fall.
Yeah.
But look at the strength. And these guys are just speed. I mean,
it's already 6-0. I mean, and 15-0 is obviously a tech fall.
Right.
And that's what these guys do. Now that's going to be a pin here.
Yeah, he's scoring back points big time. Got the near fall.
Yeah,
there it is. And that's, boy, how big is that for the County Hornets to get that? As you said, probably one of the biggest matches of the night.
Well, he's the
to
best
get a pin.
wrestler in the state, 45 seconds in, and he's 6 is Medina.
Yeah, at the
that tells you how
113s,
good
he's
Mara
number
is.
1 in the state right now. That's a big win.
Yeah, so it's going to go 6-0 on the scoreboard. And you could tell Mara's has been to this rodeo before.
Without question.
So they're going to go to 20s. At 20s, they've got Wyatt Ferris. He's number 10 in the state. He's going to go up against South's. We got South's 20-pounder is Mika Oliva.
Yeah, he's 15 and 12. He's got 3 falls, 2 tech falls.
I believe those Olivas are brothers. I might be a brother of the heavyweight.
Boy, he took another nice shot and got that leg and drives him.
When did they start letting them wear shorts? That's odd.
Good question. Yeah, you don't see that too often, do you?
It's always
or haven't seen it
always
forever.
The singlet. I was watching Vision Quest to get ready for this broadcast.
Thanks, I'll do that for the next one.
Me and Loudon Swain were watching Vision Quest.
For its time, that was an intense movie, man.
Movie.
It was a great movie.
Highly underrated movie.
Man, and one of the best soundtracks in movies.
Yes. Going down memory lane here.
There we go, I know.
So guys filling each other out. So it was actually 12-0 because the forfeit at 6 pounds. So County's going to win this duel. And like I said, it's great to win duels. It's great for confidence. It always comes down to regionals and state for wrestling.
And one thing that you can always count on with the Tim Urenda club is that they're going to compete no matter what.
Question.
Tim Urenda's been around the world of wrestling both these days. These are two legendary wrestling guys.
Yeah.
Not just coaches, wrestling guys. Oh, and he took a shot, drives him, gets him to the back.
So he got a takedown there. You go up 2-0 here with 56 seconds left in the first period.
And that's a lot of activity for no points being scored this deep into the first period.
And I tell people, if you've never wrestled, try it for a day. Try it for an hour.
Try it for an hour.
And you want to probably reevaluate your life. It's so difficult. I commend these guys. They changed the weight cutting a long time ago because these guys were cutting way too much weight and getting dehydrated. But you have to be in incredible shape. It's just the fatigue and the shape.
Without a doubt. Trying to sit out, trying to get out of it.
It's going to take him back down to the mat. It looks like we're going to go back to the center.
Yep, back to the center. We'll be in the down position.
See if he can
And
get some
Wyatt
movement.
Ferris.
Yeah, he's ranked number 10 in the state. Oliva crawls out of bounds, so they're going to come back to the center of the mat.
And you talk about balance. Wyatt Ferris is only a sophomore.
Yeah. Well, we were talking to Coach Soto, success breeds success. Once guys start seeing it in open enrollment, guys will start coming here. And East finally got that factory to go over there because a lot of those kids were still city kids with Willits when County got things going, but now East is getting some good kids.
We'll get a takedown, but no points for that.
Yeah, unlike college, they don't have riding time in high
Right.
school. Riding time in, you're sitting on top of the guy, basically trying to stall him out. We get an escape by Oliva, makes it 2-1 here.
With 5 seconds remaining. And that will do it.
Got a good match going here.
Yeah, not bad at all.
120 pounds. And these guys, a lot of these guys know each other, I'm sure, because they grew up in Pueblo and they wrestle quite a bit.
Speaking of shape, what kind of shape are you in?
Tony Wright's over here throwing jabs at me.
Right. Here we go to period number 2.
Tony and I were here with South and Air Academy's got a good boys
Yeah, they're
basketball
real
team.
good.
Got crazy depth. South's good, but they're lacking a little bit of depth this year.
But however, they got some good young and up-and-coming basketball players in that program.
No question.
Boy, took a shot, keeps him on that. Nice job to ride him to the mat.
Yeah, Kurt Waldero's the referee tonight, longtime referee. A lot of these Pueblo referees, most of them all work
Ref
state
at state,
tournament.
yeah, you betcha.
And that tells you how good they are because they don't just take the guy off the street by any means. So we're going to get out of bounds again. So 2-1 here, 1:32 left in the second period. Soto's giving some coaching over here.
Yeah, 2-1 County leading this match by a point. They lead the overall match
12-0.
12-0 here early on. Trying to sit out and trying to get out of that, trying to get points for an escape or a point for an escape. Oh boy, now he tilts him over, got him on his back.
Yeah, he's not going to get any points because he started in the down position.
Right.
But Ferris is keeping control of the match. At state, this is where you got to be careful. I know we're moving ahead, but they get stalling calls. You get a warning, and then the second time it's a point, third time it's 2. They tries to keep you kids from stalling out. And they're telling them to do the grand bead, trying to pull him back over.
Right, trying to reverse that.
Looks like they're stalled here. I see how long Waldero lets this go. Oh, man, he's trying to get him on his shoulders. Almost a reverse pin.
Now they're off the mat. Wow, 39 seconds remain.
I remember when I was covering Adams State and CSU Pueblo back in the day, and I think it was 99. Trying to remember, it was when the national tournament, it was at UNC, and Jason Ramstetter, Coach Ramstetter's son from Alamosa, they're like 26-pounder rolled the guy back in a reverse move and won a national championship. So, I mean, it can happen. Okay, so we got an escape here, 2-2. Oliva gets the escape.
Yeah, Oliva gets the escape, and he ties it up at 2.
Oh,
25 seconds, they go off the mat.
Yeah, so Ferris has a lot of motion. He's just not getting any points.
Any points for it. That's what I was saying. There's a lot of activity for very little points being scored. They'll start in the up position now.
Yeah, when they're in the up positions, when you got to make your move.
20 seconds. You want to make a move, but you don't want to do anything silly to give up.
It's like kind of like boxing. You don't want to take that haymaker and then leave yourself wide open.
Absolutely.
Get hit with a jab in the face.
Ferris takes a shot. Now Olivas takes a shot. Down to 3 seconds. And this one is over.
So we're going to come down to a tie match, 2-2 with 120 pounds. Wyatt Ferris versus Oliva. Micah Oliva from Pueblo South said he was 15-12. Is that what we got here?
Yeah.
And they can wrestle a lot of matches. I know back in the day, guys were winning 44 to 50 matches when they were winning state championships.
Yeah, 15 and 12 is Ferris. Man,
that's a lot.
That's a lot already.
Yeah.
And we're just in the middle of January.
Yeah, this is kind of the stretch run here. They come back from Christmas.
Ferris doing a nice job trying to sit out, trying to get escape, and he's going to get 2.
Oh, he gets the he gets the takedown.
Yep.
Thought they were going to give him the escape as well, but he got the takedown.
They went straight to the takedown, didn't they?
Oh, so Oliva gets an escape, so it's 4-3.
Boy, with 1:35 remaining here in this match.
Yeah,
and as you can see, folks, wrestling goes rather quickly.
Yeah,
it moves.
Yeah, they're calling out instruction here. Ferris just needs to get a takedown, and he could probably pull this off. Because you get up 3 points in wrestling, and then it becomes you need a near fall to get points back. Means you have to throw a guy on his back. So Ferris, I'm sure, is going to be somewhat conservative here. As they lock up.
Levis takes a shot, and Ferris takes advantage.
Got caught underneath. He's going to get out of it, looks like. This is when fatigue starts playing a factor.
And you could see that with the facial expression.
Oh, he's going to get a takedown here.
Yeah.
He just got, I thought he was going to give him a, he did.
He did. I was going to say, he went for the double.
So he gets the takedown to go up 6-3. If he can hold on to this, it'll probably secure the match as Ferris. He's trying to roll him over for the pin. Yeah, Oliva's gassing a little bit here.
Yeah, big time. Exactly 30 seconds remain. And he's trying to tip him, trying to get that turn.
They called stalling on Oliva. Actually they called stalling on Ferris. Wow. Man, that's kind of surprising. So it makes it interesting. Now 6-4, so a takedown will tie this. If Oliva can get out with the escape and takedown, he could win. Big ask maybe, but there's a potential there.
Yeah, and I think fatigue played a factor there. You were talking just about that. You're late in the match.
Oh, she's going to get him on a takedown. Oh, I thought he had him. Wow, Ferris was able to dodge that takedown. He rolled out of that headlock. And now you got 14 seconds left. This is when you're throwing the haymaker. So
big time.
Find something here. He's going to have to just roll out. Just try to get out as fast as you can. Oh, wow, he called stalling again on Ferris. Because Ferris didn't want to lock up. Wow. I haven't covered high school wrestling in a while. Usually they give these guys a warning. Maybe that's changed in recent years. So now we got a real interesting match.
Yeah, very
Escape
much so.
ties it. 9, 8, 7.
Ferris by a point. And Oliva's trying to come to his feet, and they go out of bounds.
Ferris is going to hold on for dear life at 6-5. Wow, that was a crazy match.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to say, grab a pen, write it down. Thank you. Oh, they had a second left, and that's how it is going to end, 6-5. Wow. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by as Ferris wins it. County's taken 3 straight in this one because of the forfeit, correct?
Yes.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you by City Cab. We are live from the City Cab broadcast area. Man, what a match so far. I want to thank Gigi's Barbecue and Catering. And, of course, Benefits Broker Insurance. Steve Shirley and Dave Vecchio presented the coach's conversation. Unfortunately, Tim Urenda took a little bit to get out of his locker room with his team. We didn't get a chance to talk with him. Hunter Willits might come over, coming up in a little bit, and get an opportunity to talk with him. So here we got next here. We got
I apologize, Thomas Velasquez from County. We're at 26s. He's ranked number 5 in the state. He's going to go up against Brian Marquez. So this obviously is a match Velasquez should have the upper hand in. He gets a takedown early.
And Velasquez, the aggressor here early on.
Oh, he's got him in a pin. He's going to pin him. He got caught in a cradle.
He cradled him up right away.
This is match over.
He's scoring back points. Got a near fall, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's a pin right there.
Yeah, he's going nowhere.
And he's given Marquez every benefit of the doubt as Waldero. His shoulders are still a little bit up, but he needs to flatten
Yeah,
him.
he's doing a nice job to bridge out of it. Boy, and the time just continues to tick away down to a $1:05.
It's a long time to hold on.
Yeah, it is.
At some point, he might make him unhook. Now he's rolling him over. So he's going to get the near fall and the back points.
Leading
or he
5
actually
to
just
nothing.
gave him the near fall, so it's 5-0. Oh, that was okay. So this is Michael Oliva. I apologize. This was Martinez. So the guy that lost to Wyatt Ferris was Antonio Martinez.
Yeah, because the big dot is south,
Yeah,
and the little dot is county.
Yeah, so we got Michael Oliva versus Velasquez.
There we go. Down to 30 seconds here in the opening period of this one.
Trying to reverse him for the pin.
Yeah, and again, he's got him nearly turned over. And again, scoring the back points. Well, Eddie Soto talked about his team, that the way they work, they put in the time, and you can see it.
Yeah, there's no question. Oh, he thought he had a pin. He actually is going to get out of it.
Get an escape.
It's going to be 8-1. He gets the escape. Does Oliva, Micah.
And now a reversal.
Yes, he gets 3 points there. Give Oliva credit. I mean, he was moments away from getting pinned and shakes out of it.
We'll start in the up position. Oh, no, pardon me. Wow. Live coverage of this duel between South and County is brought to you by Golden Gate Manor Transportation. Find them on the World Wide Web.
Going to get a takedown here by Velasquez. He's got Oliva on his back.
Yeah, now again he's scoring more back points. And
it's 10-3 right now.
Did a nice job to reverse that right in midair. Great body control.
Oliva looks like he's doing a scorpion.
Yeah.
He's trying to survive here.
He's just trying to survive.
Looks like we got a dangerous hold. Yeah, illegal hold. So he's going to get him a point, does Oliva. But it's 13-4, so he's going to get a tech fall here probably sooner than later if he doesn't get the pin. 15-point win is a tech fall. See if he can get the pin instead.
1:15 on the clock. Wow.
The second period here. Yeah, Velasquez is going to lean on top of him. He's getting back points again.
He's 25-6.
Yeah.
Is this Thomas?
Just got the pin, yes.
Yep.
So 54 seconds left in the second period. He's going to get a pin.
Yeah, we got Willits coming over. Hunter Willits, right? Good to see you again, man. How are you? Put that one on. And if it's not comfortable, I'll give you mine.
Bringing in the big guns for this match. Got Hunter coming in.
Yeah, Mr. Hunter Willits. Good to see you, man. How goes it? And you look great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
How you been?
I've been good. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back, and thanks for all you do for the kids, man. It's great to I was telling Coach Soto earlier on, as Tracy, go ahead and introduce these two wrestlers before we continue our conversation.
At 132s, we've got Brian Marquez versus Isaiah Padilla. Padilla's ranked number 2 in the state, and he's showing why right now.
And again, County in the early part of this has been the aggressors. They've been on top, and they've started out quick every match that we've seen here tonight. Just doing a great job. Now, this is one of your guys right here.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you like about him? What does he bring?
Well, first of all, if you guys don't know, this is basically soon to be my brother-in-law.
got a pin here.
Just like that.
But yeah, man, what I love most about him is his work ethic. As soon as I got down from Oregon, he wanted to go to work right away, and he's always seeking help and trying to get better in areas that he's not good at or areas that he was looking to improve, and that's why he's making these gains. He's doing such a wonderful job.
You know, and that's one of the things that I talked to Coach Soto about what you bring to the table. Been there, going Division I, and then some in the world of wrestling. As Tracy, these two next guys?
We got Kenshin Stiffering and Bowden White. Bowden White comes in ranked number 1 in the state, so this might be a quick match.
You know, and since your era of being at Pueblo County, you know, what you bring to the table here, what do some of the kids look at? Because as I walk around that wrestling room, which is just amazing wrestling room over there, a lot of guys do that same thing, but the tributes that they have to you guys up there with the state championships, the records, you know, how many wins, and a lot of the little kids from my grandson being there with the Pee-wees that look up and just say, wow, this is kind of cool. That's got to make you feel good, coming in as a former Hornet and a state champion, and, of course, now at the coaching level.
Yeah, it does make me feel good. You know, it's one of those things that makes you really feel like, you know, the hard work and everything has paid off, and it's one of those gifts that just keeps on giving. But I think what I love most about it is it gives me the ability to gain their attention right away. And when I want to coach or I want to add some input or just open myself up for them to be able to come to me and ask any questions, I think I use it as a tool because I think they appreciate and try to gain knowledge. And
Without question, and obviously you relate to them really well because kids these days, we're in a little bit different era. Even from when you were in high school, it's a little bit different kid right now.
Yes, it is. It really, I think it's, you know, it's something that's always changing. You always hear these old timers come back and they're like, back in my day, right?
we were just talking about that.
So,
you know, back in the day we had 98 pounders, 103 pounders. Those days are long gone. You know, the way you could cut weight, you can't do that anymore. It's all and not only the kids, but the sport itself has evolved and changed.
100%. You nailed it. With weight classes even changing all the way down to the way we can't cut weight. It's just completely different, but there's these roots that will always be the same in wrestling, and we can always find those areas to relate to.
White's going to take a 5-0 lead going into the second, excuse me.
No,
We'll
good.
give a quick update here.
And what weight are you at? Because I'm sitting here yakking.
Oh, we're at 38. 38 pounds.
What are some of the questions you get before we let you go that you get from the kids, having been there when they look up and they see state championships on the wall? What do some of the kids come to you and, you know, ask? Because I'm sure the curiosity is there is how did you get there?
Yeah.
What did it take?
You know, just those two questions right there are common ones. They kind of want to just pick the brain on the journey more so than anything else. You know, how did you end up where you were, and or how did you end up where you are? And it's just a fun question I love to answer because it just opens up a good opportunity to talk about work ethic, and it's so important in a sport like this. You can't get by without hard work ethic. So,
yeah, especially because it is a team sport, but there's so much individuality that goes with it because, yeah, you train together, you work together, but there's also a lot of individual workouts. And when you're out there, like right now, you're on an island. You know, you still get your team support, but you're by yourself. But you have to put in the time. And we talk about that with all sports, but especially this one because this is, well, basically mano a mano. I mean, it's just crazy when you're just going straight up against another guy that weighs the same as you do. He could be a little bit stronger in some areas, whether it's upper body, lower body, or not. Trace?
We're going to get the pin with 44 seconds to go in the second period, which, like I said, White was ranked number 1 in the state, so that comes as no surprise. And I was going to ask you, Hunter, explain the shape you have to be in as a wrestler, especially when you get up to I covered wrestling at CSU Pueblo, and there were some great wrestlers there, but D1's another step. What was that environment like, just to even be in shape, just to battle in the room?
Oh, I'd open up my answer to the fact that I've never felt in shape before in my life as to the shape I was when I was wrestling there. I mean, it's just I don't think I've accepted the fact that I'll never be or look like I did in March this last year, and it's just you know it's all day every day. It's 2-a-days every day, and
Sure.
and it's just you know you got people whose job is to give you weight training and wrestling training. I mean, it's a whole nother level. Like
Stay right here. We're going to continue that here in a moment as we got a pretty good one going right here. Again, County up 2-0 right out of the chute. And these guys, Trace?
It's Jerry Grego and Tony Macaluso at 144. As Macaluso's ranked number 2 in the state. And did you and your brother graduate together?
We did, yes.
So you guys graduated last spring?
That's correct, yeah.
So you're both out of the room, so you guys won't know what to do right now, right? No wrestling?
So right now, yeah, right now we're both working at Evraz in the engineering department.
Oh, wow.
And so we're enjoying that.
So you guys came back to Pueblo?
Yes.
Yeah, we came back to Pueblo.
Cool.
And I've been helping coaching at the Pueblo County Youth Wrestling Club and Pueblo County High School right now. So I keep myself busy after work as well.
No doubt about it.
So you get to eat normal?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say normal. I've been eating more than normal because I can't eat normal now.
You get to eat Mexican food in Pueblo?
Oh, my God, I missed
right.
it.
You missed it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And before we let you go, going back to being in shape and in getting ready for a college season, when you graduate high school and you win a state championship and then some and all those accolades you get out of high school, when you get to that Division I level, there's so much more to learn, isn't there? Just about the time you thought, hey, I won a couple state championships. I know what it's all about. You get there and you're going, wow, maybe I didn't know as much as I thought.
You start from scratch. And that's what I tell people. Everybody you wrestle's a state champ, so stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The worst guy in the room's probably a 2-timer.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's awesome, man. Great to talk with you. Thanks so much for taking the time.
appreciate it.
And
Thank
we'll
you
do this
guys.
again.
Yeah, I
Let's
will.
do this again. Good to
Anytime.
see you, man.
It's great seeing you, man.
And
Have a good one.
congratulations, by the way. If you need a DJ, I know a couple of really good ones.
Thank you. I
Good
appreciate
to
it.
see you. Well, first period comes to an end.
So it's going to be 4-0. It looks like we're going to have the lead by Macaluso on the visiting side. And Hunter Willits, like I said, I'm trying to think of his brother's name. I've drawn a blank because they're twins.
Oh, sure. Now you're going to goof
Now
me
you're
up.
going to goof me up. I'll have to ask him before he walks away. But, man, they were incredible wrestlers. One was a 3-timer, one was a 4-timer.
Four-timer,
I think
right.
Hunter was the 4-timer.
Yep.
Because the twin missed weight his sophomore year by
Right, missed
like
it.
1 ounce.
Yeah.
1 ounce. And that's a heartbreaker. But they were the best, arguably probably the best 2 wrestlers in Pueblo high school history.
Right.
Because you never had that many guys winning multiple state championships in Pueblo. You had guys winning state championships and even going back to back, but 3- and 4-timers, that's different level stuff. But it's great to see them get back. I didn't know what their backstory was after Oregon State. They're like, I want to say they're like a year younger than my daughter who went to East, and she graduated 17. I think these guys graduated 18.
I believe so.
So it's great to see them give back, though. So we got a close match. Well, we had a close match. It's going to be 6-0 here. Macaluso's got a bridge going on. I don't know. I meant to ask him how they let these guys wrestle in shorts. It's just weird.
Right.
Soto's pacing around over there. Yeah, Willard still looks in shape. I give him credit.
He does. He looks good. He comes out there.
I forgot he was that tall. His dad was a great guy, Rick. Taught at East forever. We're going to get another pin.
Grant Willits. Grant and Hunter.
I couldn't remember. So we got the pin there by Macaluso with 49 seconds to go in the second period. County's just running roughshod here. So we're going to get a forfeit at 50s. So they're going to add 6 more. South's going to forfeit. So we'll go to 57s. It's a double forfeit. So the match is going to move to 65s. For South, it's going to be Santiago Martinez versus Elijah Horton. A couple of unranked guys making them hungry. We'll see what they got here to come into this. And a lot of these guys after Christmas, JJ, the hardest part for wrestlers is Christmas break because they eat. I mean, you know, I'm not saying they're starving themselves like they were back in the day, but they eat, they get out of shape. I mean, you get in wrestling
And it's not
shape,
so much they're out of shape. It's
but
just they
not
overeat a little. They're not in wrestling shape.
There's a difference between being in shape. I mean, all these guys are in shape, but there's a difference between that. Looks like we're going to get it. I thought they were going to so they're going to award him got a double forfeit here. I think they're going to acknowledge the win here by, well, actually we had a forfeit by county at 57s. Well, actually, no, they must not have had a guy at 57s.
Yeah,
So-
that's what it is.
So it was supposed to be Vincent Sanchez Vasquez, but he didn't wrestle, so they get no points there. The double forfeit at 77, so I think, well, we'll see what we're doing here. Yeah, they're at 65s now. Yeah, Santiago Martinez, this is what I was saying, Elijah Horton. So it gets confusing because there's forfeits and stuff mixed in here. So County's going to take the lead in the duel, 39-0. Obviously, they're going to win this going away. But as I was speaking earlier, it's all about regionals and state. The top 4 guys go advance to state in each weight class. And state, it's all about having quality guys that can win state.
Right.
I mean, it always came down to, like with Alamosa back in the day with the yawns and stuff, how many guys do we have can win state? Not how many guys can we place. How many guys
right.
can win? I got in a big argument with Whitefield's coach one time and got jumped by their fans at the Pepsi Center because they were arguing with me, and I told them, well, if you guys want to learn something about wrestling, go talk to Coach Ramstetter, because this year they took like 3rd and they thought they were this great thing, and they had good wrestlers, but I mean, Alamosa just wiped them off the mat at state, and it's because it wasn't quantity, it's quality.
Right.
But that's, you learn that by covering wrestling. I covered wrestling for like 20 years.
Right.
And I love wrestling, and they're like boxers. There's got to have a little edge to you. And, I mean, I love it.
And for folks who've never been to a state wrestling tournament,
yeah, it's
even
great.
if you're not a fan, I highly recommend that you do it.
Well, it's the most populated event in Chassa every year.
17,000
They
people in one day.
They sell out the Pepsi
they
Center
sell it out.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Got a takedown here by, we got South Martinez. Santiago Martinez is going to, well, actually take him down and tie it at 2.
Yeah, ties it at 2 with 30 seconds to go here
Yeah,
in
the
the
Pepsi Center is crazy. I mean,
Tony
it's
Wright, have you ever been to a
crazy
state
loud.
wrestling tournament? Yeah, we're going to have to get you to a state wrestling tournament.
I'll tell you why, because when you were there, I had to run the board.
That's my fault. He didn't go.
It sounds like a true narcissist there. Big surprise that Tony's playing the blame game.
There you go.
He can't-
4-3.
He can't hear me because he's not wearing headphones. Yeah, wrestling's it's just kind of for a different breed, but it's a lot of fun.
It is indeed.
And the crazy thing at state is, you have to weigh in every day, like, every match, and they give you a pound. By the end of the state, you get like a 3-pound allowance.
Right.
Because they give you some weight, and then the altitude, and there's different things you have to factor in. But you got to be very careful up there. You got to stay in shape. And the thing I like about wrestling, it's kind of like military in a sense. There's a lot of discipline involved, a lot of individual discipline. I mean, no one's telling you to stay on weight. No one's making you, like, you got to want to do it. Like in baseball or football, you can work to get better, and your weight's never an issue. There's certain things you don't have to control as much. I mean, wrestling, like if you're out of shape or you're not weight, like you either have to cut or you have to go up, but it all requires discipline.
Right now we're sitting at 4-4 as
like-
we enter the second period here.
Is Mariano Rivera going to walk through the doors over there?
Yeah.
Got a little Sandman going?
Yeah. As the Martinez and Horton.
Yeah, 4-4. Speaking of which, I was watching TikTok the other day of Metallica in like 1980 and Metallica in like 2020. Have you seen those TikTok videos of those groups? I love Metallica. I don't like new Metallica, and I say new, it's like 20 years ago.
Right.
Old Metallica, Master of Puppets, and Ride the Lightning. That's what's weird about South. When Coach Sis was here, it was always squeeze, 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 and getting pins, and it was so loud and dark, and then they do that spotlight.
Right.
It's kind of, I mean, it's just a generational thing that things kind of change. The crowd's not as loud.
Yeah, it is a little kind of a subdued crowd here tonight. Boy, nice escape.
Yeah, Martinez jumped out of there early. 5-4 here, and 1:52 to go in the second period.
Horton takes a shot, misses. 5-4. 3 2-minute periods. Horton boxing to beat rounds.
Yeah.
County winning big here. And again, this is the number 3 ranked County Hornets. Takes a shot, goes for the single.
So he's going to get a takedown as Horton go up 6-5.
This one could be very, very interesting.
Oh, yeah. Man, we're going to get in
165 pounders. Oh,
oh
boy.
Man.
Put him on his back, and he's
Jeez,
scoring back points.
Martinez is going to get the pin here. They're yelling squeeze. He might have this. He does have it, it looks like.
Just what you alluded to. This would be big, and he
wow,
got it. Wow.
Gets the pin. 104 to go in the second. Goes from trailing 6-5 to getting the pin with 104 left in the second period. Big match for South, their first win of the night. Get some life in the gym.
There you go.
They're
Indeed.
yelling squeeze.
You heard it. You just alluded to that. You just alluded to that fact.
That's South's trademark. Squeeze. I mean, and don't get misled by South. County's one of the best teams in the state.
Absolutely.
So you're not like wrestling guys that are just learning how to come into the gym. I mean, County's top 3 in the state, former state champions. I mean, they're here for a reason.
Now South's Cruz Martinez and
Jimmy Lucero? Yeah.
And Jimmy Lucero, yep.
There's that. Almost looks like Jamingo.
Yeah. Oh, and another takedown.
Actually,
nope, didn't get any points.
Jamagio Lucero. There's an A in there. Or actually, it's Amigio, because it's an I believe, JJ.
Ah, Emigio. Let me look at the roster here.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Amigio?
Imagino. Right there, look at that.
Okay.
Imagino Lucero, he's a junior.
I never doubt how people spell names anymore, because just when you think you figured it out,
yeah, forget about it. Forget about it.
Someone spells something differently.
Yeah, no score. A lot of activity.
I thought they had a legal hold there.
Lucero takes a shot. Boy, what a beautiful move to get around and take control and score 2.
Oh, Martinez is going to throw him to his back. He's got a pin.
Wow, back-to-back pins by the MIBs.
Wow.
And the South bench comes to life.
43 seconds into the match, and Cruz Martinez has got a pin.
Wow.
So at least they brought some life into the gym. He swung him back, and he caught him. Essentially, he caught him. Great match.
How big was that? Yeah. Wow. Back-to-back pins. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Joe DeLeo Subway Stores of Pueblo. He's got 4 locations to serve you. 3215 West Northern near Pueblo South, just up the road. He's in the Aspen Square Shopping Center out near County, in the Southside Walmart, and the corner of Lake and Pueblo Boulevard. JR Roofing and Maintenance. Find them online at jrroofs.com. And, of course, Golden Gate Manor Transportation of Pueblo. GoldenGateManor.com.
So it looks like we're going to get the
That's
forfeit.
A forfeit
Sam Veal for County is going to get the win at 190 pounds.
And another forfeit at 215. And we're down to 1 match.
So we got a double forfeit at 215. So now we got Jack Stanger, the heavyweight from Pueblo County, versus Marco Oliva. Stanger is the one that Coach Soto said came back. He'd been injured. He took 3rd in his first time on.
Put that on so you can hear.
Travis Medina's coming up. Travis Medina used to be the coach at County back in the day before Soto took over.
There
now
you
it's
go.
South.
I always have to adjust these things, man. You guys got them little heads.
Tony, I think you were the original. I think you were the original bobblehead.
Well, my nickname, all my nieces and nephews call me Big Head Tony. So
there you go.
It's a lot of fun right here.
Yes, indeed.
You know, the great thing about wrestling is that, you know, obviously it's a team sport, but you can still win by winning your individual battle. And the South's had a couple of good back-to-back wins.
Boy, those were huge for that. 45-12, the score overall right now. Yeah, and these are the big boys. This is Oliva and
Stanger.
This
is the one that Coach Soto was talking about. Came back from injury and took 3rd against the #1 guy in the state. I'll have to look who that #1 guy was. I have the rankings here from on the mat. Gonna take him down. Gonna get a 2-0 lead is South as Oliva.
Now here's where it gets tough. Man.
Well, the heavyweights are like two big bears. They don't wrestle necessarily great. They're just it's almost like a match of muscle.
Absolutely it is. Look at that, just like that. The strength, he's able to come up. Woo.
So it looks like if Stenger would have lost to Dylan Bravo Packer from Brighton last weekend, he's ranked 1 in the state. But yeah, these big guys, if you're agile and can wrestle as a heavy, I mean, that's all you need, a few moves.
And Jack Stanger's only a junior.
Yeah. And
Let me see that
Pueblo's
roster
had
there.
some good heavyweights. They've got South's roster here.
Yeah. And Oliva is a senior. He's a heavyweight as well. Be sure to join us on Friday for more high school basketball. Big matchup there.
Actually, that heavyweight would have been Matthew Moore from Mesa Ridge.
Mesa Ridge, wow.
See,
Mesa Ridge, the number 5 team overall in the state in the top 10.
See, and I was thinking of Freeman, Tony Freeman's son, and that's Sebastian. Good
and
football
he's signed, sealed, and delivered. He's going to Trinidad State to wrestle, right?
Yes, it was announced yesterday.
175-pounder. I thought he was a little heavier. His dad was a beast at USC.
All-American.
Tony was a beast.
Yes, he
Nicest
was.
guy you'll ever meet, and he's a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony for that. On a side note, but yeah, I used to see him all the time at CSU Pueblo, and his other son is at USC, right? Wrestling, the older one. They graduated a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's
at USC.
Right.
CSU Pueblo. I apologize. Yeah, this is crazy. This is a good match. 2-1.
Absolutely, 2-1.
Couple of big bears. They say 285. Most high school guys, as the heavies, probably weigh between 230 and 240.
Oh,
we're gonna get a pin here.
reversed him.
We're gonna get a pin here. That's a pin, and we got it.
Wow, back-to-back
Damn, he spun him
pins.
into a cradle. Gets the pin. Marco Oliva comes out of nowhere. Stenger can't believe it. Man, Oliva, what a move. But that's what I say, if you got a couple moves as a heavy, pretty soon it's over because they're so big they can't turn you over.
Man, he just had a beautiful spin, cradled him, and
that was fun.
Boy, that was fun.
The biggest thing about these matches otherwise is they rank you when you go to state in terms of seeding. That's why these matches are big during season, because if you get seated in a 16-man bracket, you're seated 1, then you have the easiest path to regionals.
Yes.
You have less matches or less wins. Pretty soon you're wrestling like a state finalist in the second round at regionals trying to get out. That's part of the bracket strategy as well.
Well, as the two teams congratulate each other, man, oh man, this was fun. Our first wrestling match of the year here at SoCoTicket.com. Much more to come. We've done hockey, wrestling, basketball, and what a great winter sports schedule. Been a whole lot of fun, and we're going to maybe talk with Tim Urenda, but I think he's going to get with his team.
Nice talking to you guys. I'm going to give you the headset back.
All right, thanks,
my
Tony.
head's too big for this.
We'll get you the other ones next time.
My nephew goes, Jomo, you have a big head.
Yeah, Jomo, right. There you go. All right. Well, the final score, 51-18. Write that final score down if you would. We'll be able to find that, I'm sure. But 51-18 as the. Tell you what, Chelsea, you want to take a quick timeout, and when we come back from the break, we'll just kind of recap who did what in tonight's matchup here. County wins it, and again, we're midway through the month of January, just continuing to roll through high school sports. But let's go ahead and step aside for a break. When we come back, we will kind of run down what took place here tonight, a 51-18 win for the County Hornets, and a special thanks to Hunter Willits coming on to talk with us tonight. So stay close. We'll be back with more from the Colt Gymnasium right here at Hollywood Drive, right here on the Ticket.
Proud to support area student athletes. Benefits Broker Insurance at 20 Club Manor Drive in Pueblo. The Benefits Broker team of agents has over 100 years of service in employee benefits and individual health care needs. Steve Shirley, Dave Vecchio, and the entire team prides themselves on the level of knowledge and service they bring to you, the client. Benefits Broker is your 24/7 resource for a variety of essential benefits-related information and with a proven dedication and commitment to excellence. Benefits Broker Insurance Pueblo in the Paycheck Dental Building and online at benefitsbroker.com. It's game time, and what a great time for a Subway sandwich from Joe DeLeo Subway stores in Pueblo. With 4 Pueblo locations, there's one near you. Great before the game, after the game, or anytime. Make it the way you want, hot, cold, big, or epic. And it's always made fresh at Joe DeLeo Subway stores. Sandwiches and salads with health-conscious options. 3216 West Northern near South High School. In Blend, in Walmart on Pueblo's south side. And the new location, 1271 West Pueblo Boulevard. At the corner of Lake and Pueblo Boulevard. Joe DeLeo Subway stores of Pueblo. No matter what comes, don't ever be stuck at home again. Start your fantastic summer with the help of the Topper Factory and RV Center in Pueblo. Whether working virtually or schooling your kiddos from home, make everyday living an outdoor adventure in a camping trailer from Forest River or Gulfstream Coach. The Topper Factory and RV Center in Pueblo has everything needed for your truck or SUV to make this dream a reality, including financing with approved credit. And remember, when the going gets tough, the tough go camping.
Having a healthy smile begins and ends with regular dental checkups. It's the key, and that's exactly what every family can expect from Park West Dental. Parents are always welcome in the treatment areas to comfort their child. We accept Medicaid and most insurances with little or no cost to you. Park West, trusted dental and vision care for infants, children, and teens. Immediate appointments available. Call 544-3054. Online, visit youthdentalvision.com.
And once again, a very pleasant good evening. Welcome back to the Bat Cave at Pueblo South High tonight, where the Colts fall on their home mat tonight to the County Hornets, 51-18, that final score. Tracy, with a little bit of a recap, we had a few forfeits, a couple double forfeits in there, but at the varsity level tonight, pretty solid night for the County Hornets.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they had wins all the way across pretty much. I mean, winners for the Hornets were Zion Mares, Wyatt Ferris, Thomas Velasquez. We got Isaiah Padilla, who Hunter Willits was over here talking about, soon to be his brother-in-law. Bowden White, ranked 1 in state, he got the pin. Tony Macaluso from South got the win. We had several forfeits mixed in there at some of the heavier weights. And then at 165, Santiago Martinez got a big win for South. Finally got him on the board. Cruz Martinez at 75 for the Colts got another pin. There was double for Sam Vio got the win for the Hornets at 90. On a forfeit. Then we forfeits at 215 across the board. Then Marco Oliva, kind of with an upset out of nowhere. Stanger had just lost to the Mesa Ridge, the #1 ranked wrestler in the state, to take third in the tournament. And then Oliva comes up with a big pin. He caught him kind of in almost a cradle. But those heavy guys walk into stuff, and sometimes you can't walk out of it. And it was a great match. I haven't covered wrestling in a long time. I've done it for a long time, for like 20 years in a row. And wrestling's it's a different animal.
Sure it is.
But
very, very different sport.
It's a lot of fun, and Pueblo's very good at it. Pueblo historically has won a lot of team state championships and individual state championships in wrestling. And it's because Pueblo's a no-nonsense city. I mean, it's a still city.
Absolutely.
I mean, you talk to anybody in the state, and Pueblo has that reputation, like, let's go, like, let's fight, let's go, like, what are you saying? And that's how wrestlers are here. And I mean, it's kind of bred into their DNA a little bit, and it was exciting to see this match.
And when you talk about guys that even come in from outside, look at Eddie Soto. He's the head coach coming from La Junta, which is another, the La Junta,
hotbed.
Swink, Fowler, Rocky Ford, all those areas. That's a hotbed for wrestling.
Rocky Ford was like the wrestling mecca in the 70s and 80s.
For a long, long time. Absolutely.
For years.
You know, that's another school that produces some 2-time, 3-time state champions. La Junta's done the same thing over the years. Hunter Willits, a 4-timer out of Pueblo County. His twin brother, a 3-timer, right?
3-timer. They would have been 4-timers.
He would have went back
missed
to back.
weight by an ounce. I believe his sophomore year. But yeah, it was seven state championships for the Willits. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Their dad was a star at Rick. He was a star at Adams State back in the day. I want to say he won a national championship there. I could be misquoted there, but I know he was an All-American, and it's great to see them come back. I didn't know their backstory. You know, they wrestled at Oregon State. I mean, and Oregon State's not necessarily a power when you talk about wrestling. They're very good, and to go Division I wrestling from Pueblo, you could probably count on 2 hands in the history of Pueblo how many guys went D1 and then graduated from D1.
Graduated from D1
wrestling
finished
programs.
at Division One.
Because a lot of guys might have got
success at Division One.
Because Pueblo had some guys get looks, and they go there, and for whatever reason, they don't finish school for this or that and the other. But, I mean, the Willets they're the poster child for if you want to show your kid how to do things the right way for wrestling, then that's what you do. And they're teaching the youth at Pueblo County. And, I mean, that's that's invaluable to have guys like that in your wrestling room, because you can tell guys all they want and they can look at Dan Gable and, oh, yeah, this and that, but none of that means anything to them until you bring a guy in the room that's been from county, that won multiple state championships, and then was an All-American Oregon State. That's a different level of, hey, wow, I can do it. This guy's real. I can touch him.
Exactly. And that's why I alluded to that wrestling room, because everybody has their wrestling rooms, and it's really cool. And it's not all the time that we get that opportunity to go deep into a wrestling room, walk onto the mat. I don't know if you've been to County's wrestling room of late. I mean, it's very, very cool.
I saw it initially when it started
when they made the change.
When
it became its own, took it off the stage and had their own room over there where the auxiliary gym used to be.
It used to be on this stage.
On the stage back there,
and I was
at the east end of the gym.
Because their own wrestler, the only guy they had for years that was any good was Howes, Jerome Howes.
The Howes boys,
they were big, heavy guys. But when I went over there back in the day, I was like, what is this? Like, you're wrestling on the stage? It was like going to elementary school and they were wrestling. And then when Soto took over, they obviously had a lot of guys come from Still City, the middle school program, which, that's the biggest difference. If you get a feeder program, no matter what sport it is, and you get a feeder program with open enrollment, you have years like East football. You have years of like 4 to 8 year runs because they see it happen in front of you. And obviously from 13 to 23, look at County Wrestling. I mean, County was a dormant wrestling program. I mean, they had a few guys.
They had a
guy here
Tony,
and there.
good to see you, man. Thank you for so much.
Yeah.
But you're right, because they had individuals here and there.
Right, but never
they get a guy go to
superstar.
state, but never that many in one time that just can go as a team and have success at a regional, or go as a team and have success at state, just like they have of late.
And I give Soto credit because he graduated in La Junta in '99. He took over the county program, I want to say, like maybe 08 or maybe like 10 or 11. It was right before I left the Chieftain.
Right.
So he's been there probably over a decade. And in that run, I mean, state championships, numerous individual state titles. I mean, but that's why you have what you have now. Like he said, it's the culture. And that's what South had back in the time. So,
no, you're good right there, Tim.
Obviously, Coach Tim Urin is going to join us, former state champion himself.
Right.
And he continues that culture.
And we're talking about wrestlers and what these guys have done and what they've – there you go. Tony had that on. I thought he stretched it, but not enough. But, Coach, welcome, man. Thanks so much for taking the time to come over. We were just talking about, the coaches and what the staff has brought back, and, being a state champion yourself and an assistant coach under Sis for many, many years, and now you're at the helm and, having the success that we've talked about, what does it mean to you to be where you are right now? Because we talk about a journey to get there, and you've had a long one to get there, and here you are. But you got to love where you're at right now in this situation.
Yeah, this is my 33rd year here at South. So I've put in my time.
So you talk about longevity, baby.
And it's the same sport, the same scoring system, but the kids are totally different.
It's a whole different world we live in. We talked about that with Hunter Willits, 4-time state champion at County High School, who says it's even different now from when he was in high school, and that's just been 5 years. And it's a different world.
It is. It's just a total different word. The kids get excited 1 minute, and the next minute they don't keep that intensity. And that's the hardest thing, is to trying to keep them focused. They want to do good, but the old grind every day, it's kind of disappeared. So that's my big thing, is to get them back on track, not only in the classroom, not only with all their other activities, but to teach them hard work will pay off.
Yeah.
We can't always take the easy road, and they fought tonight. You've seen them. They didn't roll on their back and get pinned. Sure, we got pinned, but it was like maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 seconds after the fact.
Right.
So I'm trying to build their confidence and tell them, hey, that's the number 4 ranked team in the state.
Yeah.
Those guys are all ranked wrestlers. So we just didn't roll over and get pinned. We got beat by better wrestlers. We don't have a lot of mat time under us. A lot of those kids, this is probably their 15th match in their whole life.
Oh, wow.
So some of those guys have been wrestling like
how many years?
200 matches under their belt.
6 years old.
So I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed. It's just that we just haven't had the mat time. But we're trying to put Colt Wrestling Pride back on the mat. I have 2 seniors that are going to graduate, Micah and Marco, and the rest of the team hopefully comes back and they do positive things over the summer. And when we lose like this, I tell them to look at the kids' stature, look at the kids' attitudes, because you learn from your opponents.
Sure.
Yeah.
And some of those county kids have great composure.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to teach it instead of the moany, groany, whiny, feel sorry for me attitude. Just stay positive and learn from our mistakes.
Without
And
question.
that's kind of the direction I'm trying to lead them in.
Speak to the kids down the stretch. You had back-to-back pins down the stretch with the bigger guys. They came out, and, you know, you can just see the intensity and the emotion, and there was energy on that bench as the night wore on, and you can just see it coming. And then the one pin came, and then you talk about success feeding on itself, and all of a sudden you go back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah, they were excited. I mean, we got beat up pretty bad with Central and then with the East. So when you get those little high points, you can really see the exuberation by the kids. They just get so total, and they're happy for each other.
Sure bet.
When I look down the side and I see them cheering for each other, high-fiving each other, and they're excited for one, it rubs off. Everybody that's played sports know when that one guy hits that ball or when that guy gets that shot. The same thing in wrestling. That guy got the pin, and you see the momentum. We were just so far behind. There was nothing we could do than
Right,
other
at that point,
enjoy
absolutely.
the wins that we got
You bet.
and stay positive and learn from the mistakes that were committed.
You know, like you said, though, you learn from that and you build, and not only as a team but as individuals they see. And like you said, that's great coaching, and that's a great way to preach that, is to take a look at your opponent. Yeah, you got beat tonight, but, you know, take a look at him. How did he carry himself? Now this is a measuring stick to where you need to go.
Exactly.
It's that simple. What'd you tell the guys in that final huddle?
Right. Well, I was going to say, Coach, you can speak to the experience. Obviously, your son Adam was part of the state championship with Beaudry and those guys. I mean, Bugs won state championship, wrestled in college and was outstanding. Your daughter's obviously a college standout athlete and all your kids, I'm sure the proudest you were is they were like straight A students. I mean, and I'm sure you can preach that to these kids and I know, I mean, having my own kids, and obviously they've graduated college, my daughter, and then my son's in college, but the biggest thing, like you said, is it's not that these kids don't want to do it. It seems like it's a get-rich-quick scheme is, I want to learn how to wrestle, but I want to be Hulk Hogan tomorrow. I want to be that guy, but why do I have to work? What do you mean? It seems like the work ethic has kind of disappeared, and I imagine in the sport of wrestling, like anything in life now, but that would be the hardest thing, like you preached, is do you have to put in the grind, the discipline of the weight to want to be good, because it's such an individual sport within a team concept. That's probably the hardest thing for you, as you said.
Yeah, just trying. I reflect on me because I walked through the high schools at South.
Yeah.
I was a state champ at South. I would coach. I had some great coaches here at South, so I try to tell the kids I was here. I've been here. I've done this. The other day I gave a speech, and it probably embarrassed my daughter, but when my daughter was her senior year in school, she won state. At 5'3" height, she jumped 5'5", won the state title. The next day, she was jumping in pole vault. Well, pole vault's over, and she's sitting on the grass all disappointed, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? You're a state champ. She goes, that wasn't what I wanted to place. I wanted to place higher. And I told the boys, that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do. Be happy for Thursday. But come Friday, let's regenerate, and when we get let down, we build off.
Go to another level.
So I don't know if that makes sense to you, but with Timothy, after he lost in the finals that year, he bounced back and went to college and wrestled in college, and I was just tickled pink. You know, Adam had his 3 years of placing his state, his 2 state titles, and he still does a lot with the little Pee-wee programs, gets a lot of compliments, a lot of positive things. So I've always told my wife, I'm just thankful and blessed that we had athletic kids.
You bet.
I mean, because
and
you
they
learn
wanted
so
to
much
succeed in the classroom and athletics.
You just learn so much from sports that carry on in other things in life.
You betcha.
And I see it in my own kids. I don't think they'll realize it, but I know there's a lot of things that I learned doing sports that I carry over in my personal life.
So I can tell you, honestly, my daughter's a teacher who played softball, and a lot of the things when she talks to me, I mean, I was a sports writer my whole life when she was littler, but when she talks to me, I'm like listening to myself. She's like, I tell these teachers, why you got to put in the work. You want to do the time, you only get out what you put in. And I'm like, man, because we used to always watch all these NFL films, and I used to make her watch documentaries. But you learn stuff from people to make you a better person if you absorb things, like if you truly absorb things.
No, you're totally right. When I was in high school, Coach Martinez said, if somebody comes in and you don't like the person, listen to what they say because you might learn one thing.
Yeah.
Then we bring in another guy. and he says something, you might learn one thing. So if I bring in 10 guys, you learn one thing, you learn 10 things.
There you go.
So always pay attention and have the respect for the people, and that's what I try to transfer with the kids in their teachers too.
Yeah.
Right away, it's the teacher's fault. It's like, guys, step back and just listen to what they're saying.
Everybody wants to play the victim now. It's never my fault, the narcissistic victim.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Coach. I applaud you because it's a different – I mean, even when I was covering it 10 years ago, I mean, you can just see the evolution, the different desires and things. It's a lot harder climb. And so I talked to Coach or Tim Yount today earlier, and he said your program's probably progressed more than any program in 4A this year. And he thinks you guys are like a year away. Like it's coming back. The Colt World Order.
Like you said, you graduate too.
That stuff's coming back, and then you know how this works. It goes in cycles. If you can get enough, then pretty soon you're getting more.
And if these guys understand the history and the tradition of South Colt wrestling, things will be much better for them.
Yes.
Once they understand that.
We are trying to sell the history of Colt wrestling pride.
You bet.
Yeah.
Coach Martinez started. Coach Sis did a great, fabulous job with carrying it over. If you look at all those records out front, you look at those stuff, that wall's beautiful. That was Sis's idea. I love the man to death. He
Coach
did a great
Soto
job.
was talking about that in our pregame show. He was talking about walking down the hall going, man, he says this place is decorated. You know, this wrestling history
That's
here.
a recruiting tool. I mean, if you buy in, it's there. It's not like you're fabricating stuff. The facts are on the wall.
Exactly.
And yeah, that's what I always preach. Facts don't lie.
Exactly.
They're there. You can tell all the war stories you want, but those facts are right there on the wall. Well, I do appreciate you guys coming. I don't know how this happened.
Thanks,
I
Coach.
hope you guys enjoyed yourself.
We did, man. This is great. This is fun.
It's
neat to see these two teams go at it again, and we'll be back for more, plenty more.
Well, we do catch Centennial in 2 Wednesdays, and it should be a really exciting duel because we're pretty much evened out. We've won one tournament, what they were at, and they won one tournament, and then we've kind of been just back and forth.
Who's Centennial's head coach now?
Dino Aragon. Little Dino.
It's Little
wow,
Dino.
Little Dino.
Aragon.
Is Little Adamson wrestling? Didn't they have a guy in the mix?
Well,
Garrett? Was he in that mix?
No, the one you're thinking is Cole Hernandez.
Oh,
and he's at Western State right now, doing really well.
Jeez, I'm getting old.
I know.
He was a little kid, and he was like, I can't wait till he goes to high school, and I've been out of the mix for a while.
Well, he made it to the finals his senior year, and I believe he was a runner-up.
Okay.
So that's how good he got.
So Little Dino, man, I remember covering Dino when he won his state championship.
Wow.
So time goes by. So you guys are welcome to come back. I invite you on that Wednesday.
Indeed. Absolutely.
As long as Mr. Sweckert approves it.
And when did they start letting them wrestle in shorts?
Well, they're combat shorts.
It
was a fad that it went into. Now, the tricky part about that is you have to wait. See, there's no more bare naked weigh-ins.
Oh.
So you either have to wear a singlet or the compression shorts. And so we learned last year when a kid's cutting real hard, it's easier to wear the singlet because it only weighs like 0.4.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You put on the other one, and it's 0.8.
Oh.
So we always weigh in our singlets. So we might have let out a little trick there, but that when you're wrestling in those ounces,
don't you get that? You still get the allowance at state?
After Christmas, you get the 2 pounds.
And then at state,
then at state, you get the 1 + 1 + 1 every day.
So the last day is 3.
Yes.
You could be 3 over.
Yes.
And still get in.
You'll get those 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, like you said, things have changed.
I know way too much about wrestling.
Yeah, no, Tracy did a great job.
I covered it for too long. I love wrestling. Like I love high school wrestling. It brings back great memories.
It's a great sport.
It is a great sport, and it's like we talked earlier, and I know we'll let you go on this because you've been a part of it for many years. That if anybody, even if you're not a fan, you're just a high school sports fan, if you've never been to a state wrestling tournament, you need to take at least one day in, preferably championship day, but because the way they honor 4-time champions, 3-time champions, I mean, it's just the pageantry of what that state wrestling tournament brings all 3 days. It's amazing, but it's just an amazing get-together, and it's the single most watched sport in high school in one day and in one weekend.
Oh,
and it's
far.
amazing, and that's like you said, facts. That is a fact that it is the most watched sport because you get 17,000 people on championship day, and you're watching 1A to 5A go at it in all those mats. It's an amazing scene, and you have to take it in, no doubt about it.
There's nothing like pins and the roar of the crowd at state wrestling. I mean, I watched Southwind the years with your son and Beaudry and the emotion and.
Because we were covering it at that same time. You and I, in fact, had my headsets on at the same time at some of those tournaments, which was a blast.
There's nothing like knowing what you had to do and who had to wrestle back and counting numbers. And I was telling JJ, Ramstetter was like the master of it. It was always quantity over quality and back points, but you guys figured out that mix, and all of a sudden with that 04-05 team, I mean, you guys had their number, but those were battles. I mean, and I remember one time when Central, and it was towards the end of my chieftain when the guy that was he wasn't completely blind.
Fernandez, Marcus.
Yeah, when you wrestled against Central here, that was like the craziest duel match. I think I got jumped after the match because they said I worked for South, because everybody used to think I worked for the University of South, as they used to call you guys back in the day. And I mean, it was the craziest environment I'd ever been in, and that was a duel, and then you guys ended up winning state, and it was just crazy. I mean, I love wrestling, and I never wrestled as a kid, but like the emotion of it, it's just unbelievable to be in that Pepsi Center on that Saturday night. I mean, nothing like it.
There's some great stories, but this one I always remember, and I forget. It was my wife. This was when it was Big Mac. At Big Mac.
Oh, yeah, that was the first year I covered it.
We're walking, and people are screaming and hollering, and we're going to our seat, and and I turned down, and the two-time state champ was getting pinned on his back with the cradle, and she goes, "What's going on?" I said, "See that guy? He's a two-timer losing." And she goes, "This is horrible." I go, "Horrible?" She goes, "Yeah, how do you think he feels, all these people cheering against him?" And I'm like, I never looked at it that way.
Right.
You always learn something new.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time you watch a
completely
match.
different perspective.
Well,
Completely different
You mentioned
perspective.
that was like when Tom Klum got pinned by Roller.
Yep.
And I was in the match next because the guy from Central was wrestling the state championship, and I can't think of who
Yeah,
it was.
because we were there.
But I was sitting on the match next to Roller, and Klum was on his back for like 15 seconds, and they were like, and finally they had no choice.
They had no
the
choice.
crowd was going ballistic, and I was like, I looked over and I'm like, what? And it was like one of those moments you feel bad because the guy had never lost before, but I mean, obviously went on to Wisconsin and did great things. But
right,
but
and
there's
it's funny
nothing
because
like that.
I remember that match because everybody was just in awe as to how smooth he was. I mean, he was just picking him apart, one move after another. I mean, he was putting on a clinic in that first 60 seconds. You just saw so many different moves, and all of a sudden, one mistake and he was on his back.
But that's like wrestling. Like you could be like Muhammad Ali's just beating on you, and all of a sudden Leon Spinks throws some crazy punch and a haymaker, and all of a sudden
it's like a whole different. It just completely turns.
That's what I tell people in wrestling. You get caught, meaning, oh shit, like oh my god, like I'm 3-time state champion, never lost, and all of a sudden I'm on my back.
I'm counting lights.
Right there,
and
you go.
we do teach that when we're down by 3 or 4 points. Just cause a flurry, because you never know what could happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is something that we do try to install in the practice. But back then it was like, just do the basics, keep it simple.
Exactly.
It's a little wild. Well,
Coach Arinda, great to talk with you, man. Thanks for taking the time.
No, I
appreciate you. And we'll do it again soon. Tell the family, hey.
Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll be here. We'll see you then.
2 Wednesdays.
Thanks,
All right,
Coach.
see you the week after next.
All right,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks for the time.
All right, that is going to do it. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up right here from the Bat Cave at Pueblo South High School. For Tracy Rink, Tony Wright, Chelsea Lynn, and my man Oliver over there, we will bid you a very pleasant good night, and we might go watch a little hockey now as the Hornets are in action at the Pueblo Plaza Ice Arena. And then, of course, join us on Friday night, Central and County boys basketball for you right here on the ticket. Thank you so much for seeing it all through our eyes. We hope you enjoyed the coverage here tonight, and we'll do it again another time right here at SoCoTicket.com.
This has been a sports presentation from SoCoTicket.com. The team that covers your team: Chelsea Lynn, Tracy Ring, Tony Wright, and JJ Valentine.
That one's got a chance to go, and it's gone. Kiss it goodbye. Well, there by Newton, the second for one down to first. In-time double play. From way downtown, Swish. That's the ball again at the buzzer. The Cavs get the win. Are you kidding me? Aragon to trigger it in. Looking for help into Austin. Terrence for a three. Count to the guard. Gets to the back line and good. Senior defensive specialist floats it short for that one, an A.
We hope you enjoyed the broadcast and invite you to join us again next time. Until then, have fun, be safe, and thanks for watching through our eyes. SoCoTicket.com, your ticket to high school sports and more in Southern Colorado.